What's up, guys? How are you? It is a Thursday, time for another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault. Every single morning, you get this podcast wherever you get your audio podcasts, and for video, the BettingPros YouTube channel. You can follow me on socials at Sports Talk Matt, and this podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com and the semi-annual sale going on right now at OmahaSteaks.com. Use that promo code JUICE to get $30 off the offer, as well as that 50% off with the semi-annual sale going on right now at OmahaSteaks.com. All right, back-to-back winning nights. Dodgers don't cooperate, but we added the over for the Braves, over 9. That game, kind of a weird number. It was 10.5. It got bet down to 9. By the time it got to 9, we jumped on it on the Discord channel. Again, if you're not on the Discord channel, this is why it's really important. If you do bet these plays, if you do listen to this podcast or watch this podcast, be on the Discord channel, because in the Daily Juice channel, to where I put the Braves, we didn't take the Pirates. We took the Braves over 9, and that came in because the Braves came back again on the Cubs, who blew another game. And if you're a Cub fan, I feel for you, man. That is a tough situation for sure with what's going on in Chicago. But we got that right. We did not get the over. Dodgers scored 8, and this is where, again, I'm still running cold. Even though I went 2-1, I'm still angry because, Dodgers run line, right? That cashed. Dodgers team total, that cashed. Over didn't cash, so the over and the money line parlay, that would not have cashed. And the over didn't cash, so it would have been a 2-2 day on that, and depending upon the juice, it probably would have been somewhat of a flat situation, so we wouldn't have lost anything. We would have been flat, but I read that game properly last night, and, well, except for the over. 8-2 was the final, so we didn't get there for over 11.5. Did not. The game closed 12.5, so good game for the books there on that. Just the Rockies just couldn't score. It was really frustrating with that. But we go under with the Orioles. Got that right. So a 2-1 day, 0.9 up. So that's a 1 unit and a 0.9 unit. So up 1.9 units over the last 2 days. So after the Monday debacle of being down 3.1, we've clawed our way back here. So we are basically within striking distance here. So we have a good Thursday. We can wind up getting ourselves back into the black, potentially. If not that, maybe flat here with this. I've got an NFL play. I have an NFL prop. And I've got a college football bet for you guys to give you on the podcast. I have a half a unit flying around. There's one prop I really like. I've bet it for a half a unit. And I've got a Major League Baseball moneyline parlay bet that I can't make because literally there are no numbers. There's 3 games right now that have lines. Tomorrow is a wonky day in baseball. It's a travel day. Who's pitching? A lot of openers. It's an interesting day. So we're going to throw together a 2-leg moneyline parlay for tomorrow, and you're going to have to listen to the podcast or look at the Discord channel in the morning, because there are some early start times that we may jump in on. So, like the Dodgers and the Rockies, for instance, right? That's a game we may bet the money line there and then parlay that with something else. So, in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, I will put the other half a unit play down on today's card, okay, for that. But for today's card, let's talk about Tulsa hosting Temple, okay? There's not a huge handicap here. This number opened up at 4.5. It was bet down to 3. I think the reason why is that these are two kind of bad teams. But I think Temple is worse than Tulsa. Temple is 1-3 ATS on the year, but they're 0-3 against FBS opponents. Miami killed them last week at home. Temple got run off their own field by 34 points. They have one road game on their record so far this year. They lost it by 29 points. Now, Tulsa has played 2 very tough opponents. They got killed by Oklahoma, and they got killed by Washington. They were catching 33.5 points at Washington. They lost by 33, so they covered technically. They played Oklahoma. They were catching 28 points. They lost by 49. They got annihilated. But last week, after playing those 2 really high-caliber opponents, Tulsa came back. They won on the road. They beat Northern Illinois as road dogs, catching 3.5 points. They won the game by 8. That's big. Temple averages just 12.7 points per game. I don't think their offense is worth anything. And Tulsa takes the ball away 2.3 times per game. I think this game ges determined on turnovers. I think there's an opportunity for Tulsa to actually win the game kind of easily. I think Temple's kind of bad. I think the number coming down to 3 makes it almost like a must play. We got to jump on it. Tulsa -3, 1.1 units, hosting Temple tonight. Let's get Tulsa get a W here easily. Win by 7 points or more up against Temple. Tulsa -3 for 1.1 units. Okay, to Thursday night football. Detroit Lions are at the Green Bay Packers. The Lions have won 3 straight games against the Packers, including beating Aaron Rodgers in his final game wearing a Packer uniform last year in January. 1 game so far for the Lions in primetime, opening night against Kansas City. Game went under. They won the game, but the game went under. They're 2-1 to the under this year. At home against Seattle, that game went over, but last week their game went under. Detroit, 4.6 yards per play. That's number 6 in football. Green Bay is 4.9 yards per play. That's 11th best in football. Both these teams on paper defensively are playing well. Now, Detroit, top 11 in passing yards allowed and rushing yards allowed. Green Bay, top 20 in both, not nearly as good. They don't have Jair Alexander, which is going to be just an absolute monster miss for them. They don't have Bakhtiari. Injuries are a big issue. I definitely can see the play on the Lions here because the Lions were the look-ahead favorite at -1.5. It flipped after the win last week for Green Bay up against the Saints. Now the Saints are favored. I don't know. We're going to watch that line here, but I don't know about it. Lions, 7.9 yards per pass play. It's pretty good. Green Bay, 6.5 yards per pass play on offense. Detroit's averaging 20 points per game against Green Bay over the last 4 games. This feels like a race to 20, that the team that gets to 20 wins this game. Thursday, divisional game. Primetime unders are 9-2 this year so far. Week 3 was the kind of like the week that we learned what you are. Here we are in week 4, but we saw what the Lions were defensively. Really good last week against Atlanta. Just completely shut them down. They did nothing. 6 points for Atlanta. They couldn't move the ball. Only 17 points for the Saints against the Packers. The Packers are going to lean on their defense. The Lions very well might lean on their running game and their defense. Injuries are definitely a concern here, but I'm going to go under 46. I'm going to ride the trend here. And again, I have been bad in the NFL. If you guys want to fade this pick and take the over, I'm not going to be offended at all on this because my NFL record right now is not good. We're going to try to slowly claw our way out of this hole here in the NFL. Divisional game, Thursday night, prime time, under 46. I think it's a 20-17 type game. I think it's low scoring. I think it's a tight football game. I do lean Lions. I think the Lions would probably win this game. And you might go, well, Matt, why don't you do a same game teaser? You can do that. I actually like it, to be honest. I mean, I think that's a play if you want to go ahead and tease it up and say, okay, I want to give the Packers. Lions are favored now. Sorry, I think I flipped that around. It was the other way around. The Packers were favored. Now the Lions are favored, so I flipped that. Sorry. But you take the Packers at +1.5 and go to 7.5, take total from 46 and go up and have it be 51. I don't mind that play. But much like when we lost last week, when we lost it because of the margin, when we had +11 and the Eagles won by 14, Detroit could win the game, 20-10, and then we lose. Okay? So that's my worry there. I think I'd rather just bet the under. We should just bet the under in the Eagles game on Monday night. Just going to bet the under here and not play around and add an extra leg. Just under 46 for 1.1 units. Now, there is one prop bet that I really, really like. The Lions are the worst defense right now in the NFL up against tight ends. Week 1, Noah Gray, 3 catches, 31 yards. Week 2, Noah Fant, 4 catches, 56 yards. Week 3, Kyle Pitts, 5 catches, 41 yards. Luke Musgrave is a rookie tight end who led the Packers in receptions last week with 6. If you want to go over on his reception props, 3.5, it's plus money. Okay, you can take that if you'd like. But I'm a little concerned about that. I think I'd rather go with the yards. The yards are 36.5. It's -120 at BetMGM for over 36.5 yards receiving. Luke Musgrave has gone for 50, 25, and 49 in the 3 games so far he has played. Last week against the Saints, 6 catches, 49 yards, long of 12. Had a long catch against the Bears in the opener, 3 catches for 50 yards. He had a 37-yard catch with that. But the biggest thing is the targets. He's getting opportunities, which is absolutely monster in my opinion. He's getting the ball. Good chemistry with Jordan Love. Getting open over the middle. They're throwing in the ball. I think he gets 3 or 4 catches is probably on the number. But over 36.5 yards receiving, 56 and 41 yards the last 2 weeks given up. And you just talk about overall what's happening per game. This is a defense that's giving up a lot of yards per game to tight ends. And I think it's an opportunity to jump in here and talk about just yards given up allowed. The Lions have given up per game 131 yards to tight ends, 15 targets, 11 receptions to tight ends so far this year. Hey, I think it's a good opportunity here to jump in with the Lions giving up a bunch of tight end catches, half a unit to win a half a unit. So it's like 1.6 down to win, 0.6 to win 0.5 coming back. Half a unit to win half a unit, minus 120. Luke Musgrave over 36.5 yards receiving here on Thursday Night Football. Okay, like I mentioned, we have a half a unit floating out there. So we're going to take a 2-leg moneyline parlay for baseball, put that in on the Discord channel to round out the entire card here for us tonight. Okay, so with that moneyline parlay, bettingpros.com/chat, that's where we're going to put that. Prop bet is Luke Musgrave over 36.5 yards receiving tonight, tight end for the Packers. Jumping in with that for 0.6 units to win 0.5. Under 46, Lions and the Packers here for Thursday Night Football. And we're going -3, Tulsa at home up against Temple for 1.1 units. Okay, back-to-back winning days. Let's hopefully have another one. Let's just slowly stack winners up, slow and steady. I will take another 2-1. I guess I can't go 2-1 because it's 4 bets, but you know what I mean. If we have a slight win, nothing huge, 1 unit up here, 1 unit up tomorrow, just get ourselves back into the black and stack and stack and stack. Hopefully get out of the hole that I put us in coming up on a Monday. BettingPros.com/chat is the Discord channel. I will talk to you guys in there later today for that moneyline parlay for Major League Baseball. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt each and every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.